Lovely cushioned header. But Gerrard! Oh, you beauty! What a head, son! What a head!
Yes, guys, we're back. Absolute nightmare. Sound interference. Technical hitch. Thanks for joining us. Liverpool 2, Manchester City 0. Liverpool are top of the league. Obi, we were just talking about the Liverpool midfield, industrious, workaholic, headed up by none other than Ryan Gravenberch. What a player he is.
Got everything, Scott. He's got his first
Where's he come from?
It's mad. It blows my mind. The Gravenberch we saw last season, there was a player in there, and we all talked about it. But just to see him suddenly become such a good player on such a high level just blows my mind. It really blows my mind. And he's just fitted into that defensive midfield role so well. He's fantastic taking the ball in tight situations because of that first touch. That first touch makes a massive difference. And he's just positionally, he's perfect. I mean, far be it for me to throw a big call in, but he's up there with as good as anyone I can see in the world at the moment in that position.
Yeah. He's fantastic, isn't he? But let's talk about Arne Slot. We've got to give him all the credit. We were talking about who would start in the front three. I think we were almost unanimous that Gakpo on the left. Diaz is forging a real position for himself through the centre. I want to see him there more and more. Salah picks himself on the right. And then you've got Núñez, the madman, to come off the bench and stretch that Man City defence in the last 20, 25 minutes when they've got tired legs. Ruben Diaz is just back from an injury. Arne Slot played it to absolute perfection, didn't he?
Everything he did was just right. And whether we prefer this player to play here and this player to play there, he's getting it bang on. And as far as I'm concerned, whatever team he picks, I'm just going to agree with it from now on because he is absolutely smashing it. He's making it look easy. He's making managing look easy. He's making managing the Premier League easy. He's making managing Liverpool look easy. And we all know it isn't. And that is just unbelievable. It really is.
I thought he would have took Luis Diaz off. I thought he looked shattered after 65, 70 minutes. But he was the player that kept on until the last 5 minutes. The last 5 minutes. Oh, was it? Did he stay on the whole way?
No, I think he didn't. He
took Salah off near the end, didn't he?
Took him off for Jones, didn't he? In the end.
Oh no, Harvey Elliott, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah,
that was it. Yeah, so end up with Harvey Elliott, Jones, and Núñez through the centre. But I got to give Núñez some props as well. We're heavily critical of him. Is he ever going to make it as a Liverpool number 9? In our opinion, probably not. But he looked like he was having fun out there tonight in his 20, 25-minute cameo role, putting himself all about, causing issues, full of energy, full of pace. Man City couldn't handle him, could they?
No, and it's really strange because he played well on Wednesday night as well, didn't he? And I know he hasn't necessarily got the finishing touch that some of the other players, and that's probably why Gakpo would slot into the team ahead of Núñez for me, more about his touch and his positional sense and everything we talked about earlier. But for me, it's interesting to see that against two very, very good teams, Núñez is a real problem. Now, we just need to get that Núñez onto the pitch against some of the lesser lights that we play, and then make sure that he's actually nailing down these teams and making sure he makes himself as much of a problem for the good teams as he is for the poorer teams. And I don't know if that's motivation. I don't know what that is. It's really strange.
Probably confidence, isn't it? I think his confidence has been rocked a little bit. He probably doubts whether he's ever going to be a Liverpool number 9, a success at Liverpool. This is his 3rd year now. But, we're all for boosting his confidence. Definitely today would have done his confidence no harm at all. I thought he was superb. And as we said, Arne Slot played the whole formation, the team selection, the strategy, the substitutions, everything to perfection.
I'm also going to call out a moment in the game where Van Dijk makes his 1 in every 20 game mistake. And he just touched the ball in extra time. And it can happen to the best of them. You know what I mean? There's no player in the world who doesn't make the odd mistake. It just doesn't happen. But
but he doesn't make that mistake at 0-0 or 1-0, does he? No. So is that arrogant from Van Dijk?
And it's strange, isn't it? But it's odd. But the keeper's done the job.
Oh, superb.
That moment was massive. De Bruyne normally doesn't miss them.
Yeah.
that's in the back of the net, and he just come out and he just made sure he got some of his body to it. I think it was the inside of his leg, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He come back round to him, but he spread himself so well. Massive moment in the title, because if they'd scored then at 2-1, there was still a little bit of time left. The whole game changes, because we know momentum changes football games, and that change of momentum was massive. That was a key moment in the game. Also, when Diaz just marauded through and won the penalty, that was just absolute will to try and get there before the keeper. He was just determined to make sure he got himself into the position. And he probably hurt himself as well going down, because the keeper went through,
Yeah.
So that was massive. Just massive, big moment players, but also they're doing the fundamentals so well in the general game. So it's just beautiful to see, absolutely beautiful to see. And I'm here for it, mate. I'm sure you are.
Let's carry on giving Slot all the credit and recognition that he needs. Joe Gomez, an absolute masterstroke. A couple of us mentioned Kwanzaa might get the nod, but obviously there's question marks over where his confidence is shot a little bit after getting hauled off at halftime against Ipswich. He's had a couple of appearances in the Champions League, I think, and the Carabao Cup. So he hasn't looked himself as he was last season, but I just thought Joe Gomez, he's done nothing wrong this season. He had a fantastic season last season, and yet again, Slot got it bang on with him and Van Dijk in the centre of defence. They were both imperious, but Joe Gomez, well done. If this is a running it back to the central partnership of Van Dijk and Joe Gomez for a title run-in, then we're going to be doing things this season, because he was absolutely superb. And then also when Kwanzaa come on, everyone thought he'd push Gomez to right back, and Kwanzaa would partner Van Dijk. He didn't. He trusted them two for the whole 90 odd minutes.
And he also trusted Joao Kwanzaa to go at right back and be absolutely fine. And you see when he was like going down the wing, running at the team, I thought, this is astonishing. He's given these players so much confidence to go, I trust you in this position, and I know that you understand from a footballing perspective what we're trying to do in this particular position. Go and do it. Because he couldn't have spent a lot of time with Kwanzaa at right back. He couldn't have. You know what I mean? But Kwanzaa understood the game, and that's massive.
Yeah, definitely. It's all coming right at the right time, OB. I mean, we have to pinch ourselves, really, don't we? That we're in this position on the 1st of December, 9 points clear of second, 11 points clear of City after only 13 games. Is this really happening?
It's a golden age of football, isn't it? And we're gonna nail this 20th title this season, and then that'll be it. We'll be level with Man United, and that is gonna really stick. And that must be there must be Man United fans, despite winning. What did they win? Was it 4-0 against Everton or something today? Nobody cares about that. That's not the story. Nobody cares about the new manager. They are just panicking beyond belief that we're going to win that 20th title, because they know it's happening.
I mean, there it is there. Let's just take a moment to look at the league table. Played 13, won 11, drew 1, lost 1, goals for 26, goals against 8. Who's got the next best defence after 8? I think there's a couple on 14, Arsenal, Chelsea. I mean, that goals conceded, that's the column that wins your titles, isn't it?
It is 100%. I mean, the way I see it, there's almost 4 league tables there. There's the relegation boys. There's the boys that are sort of in between, outside of the relegation. They're not going to go down, and they're sort of fighting that mid-table bit. There's the race for the Champions League, and then we're in a league of our own. That's the way I see the league title at the moment.
I love it. Absolutely love it. Who's next up, OB?
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who's next up. It makes no difference. It was a blip.
Is it Newcastle?
Whoever it is will beat him anyway, Scott.
Newcastle away. I mean, I watched their game against West Ham last Monday night. They were absolutely atrocious. So we've got Newcastle away and then Everton away. 2 tough aways now.
I would say the Geordies are normally quite difficult to play away from home. That could be a tough game. And Everton are always going to raise the game in that tiny little pitch of theirs. And it's their last game against us at Goodison, isn't it, before they move to that new weird soulless stadium, soulless bowl that they're going to play in, unless he gets in the cup.
I did wonder when they were moving into that stadium
next season. next season. It's not going to help them though, is it? They're getting punted by everybody again.
I thought Trent Alexander-Arnold looked sharp today, considering he's just back from injury. There was no let up in his efforts. And I thought it was again notable that he took off Trent Alexander-Arnold and Salah again in a massive game, and both of them took it perfectly well. There was no like strops or misunderstanding or a feeling that they should be staying on. They both took it really well.
He talked about not giving Trent too much of a run out. He had to take him off after 70. He talked about that in his post-match interview. I think with Salah, I think he is trying to manage his game time. I'm hoping that's leading to the fact that, I mean, it's on all of our lips, but they need to just give him that contract and try and negotiate it. Talk him down by 20 grand if he's wanted, but just give him the rest of it. You know what I mean? Just call it a day. Just go, right, okay, we can draw a line under this. The lad wants to stay. We want him to stay. If it's 2 years, he ain't going to slow down. He might slow down a bit, but he's still going to be quality in that time. He's still going to be better than anything else in the Premier League. He's not far off the best player in the world at the moment. So there's a question there to go, if there is even a decline, what's the decline to? Would it be to what? Saka's level? And is he the best option to bring in? But it's a serious point because who's the next best player to bring in who can do it in the Premier League week in, week out, Champions League week in, week out, produce them numbers and have that many goal involvements, an assist, a goal, you know what I mean? It's every week. And it's just, we're getting to the point now where we need to do or die. We need to do it because if we don't, he can speak to everybody in a month's time.
Definitely. I think it was Sturridge that put it quite well. If you wanted to go out there now and buy Mo Salah for 41 million, I think he quoted it, I think he was just calculating his wages.
Yeah.
Every team in the world would do it, wouldn't they? We would do it. If Mo Salah was available now for 41 million pounds, it's a no-brainer. We've got him. Or was it Carragher that said it? We've got him. So not only have we got him, which stops other teams from having him, but we've got an opportunity to spend that 41 million on his wages and then just tie him up for the next 2 or 3 years. It's an absolute no-brainer.
Absolutely.
I'm scared of what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's like we took a £10 million punt on Chiesa, right? And we don't know whether that'll come off or not. It doesn't look like it will, but it's early days, and we took that punt, and I think that was a good punt. We're only talking about 4 times. We're only talking about 4 times the amount of money, but you know what I mean in the spectrum of what Liverpool are doing, and it's a no-brainer. It's not a risk. So if they're prepared to spend that 41 million or whatever, there's no risk to it. There is no risk.
Crazy, isn't it? Let's not take the shine off today talking about these contracts, though. It gets us down. We're heading for a 20th league title. We're on a title charge, and all we keep talking about is these contracts. It's taking the shine off it for sure. But Obi, it's Sunday night. Your man of the people on Facebook. Posts go down a treat. We're top of the league. Things could not be going better right now as we head into this busy festive period. There's no let up in games for sure. We're going to have to utilize the squad as much as we can and hope that we get a little bit lucky with injuries. It feels like they're cutting in a little bit now, but hopefully we've still got some players to come back like Alisson and Jota. But I think you're right. We're going to win the league.
Yes, Scott. Get on board. Get on board. It's a procession. And people can quote me on that. It's a procession.
Is Arsenal our biggest challengers now?
I actually think Chelsea.
Really?
Yeah, I really do. I think Chelsea have probably got more depth than Arsenal, and there's no drop off. So when, for example,
they've got more depth than anyone, haven't they?
Yeah, they have, and I think they're in a good position, and I think they've got. So if what's his name, the lad up front who started to play decent for them,
Jackson,
he goes off. We bring on Nkunku. That's not really much of a drop off. You know what I mean? So, and there's 2 quality players for every position. I always feel like Arsenal with one big injury would be Saka, Odegaard, Gabriel, Saliba, away from, there's nobody there to come in. And Liverpool have proven that they can still cope with it. I mean, that's probably the exception would be Salah, and then we'd really have to dig deep and work out what we're going to do. But I think we could cope with most of the injuries to the key players. I think Chelsea could, probably more than Arsenal could. So I'm expecting Chelsea to continue to improve as season goes on. I think Arsenal, it'll be very much a case of we'll see how they go. But yeah, I'm going to predict that Chelsea will finish a distant second to us, Scott.
Who'd have predicted that at the start of the season, OB? Liverpool
Absolutely.
first, Chelsea second. Absolutely no one.
No. What do you think?
Arsenal. Yeah, I've just got this feeling. It's weird. Obviously, Man City are the one always that you look for, their results. But I've got to admit, every time Arsenal drop points, be it a draw or a loss, I feel really good. So it must mean I really fear them.
Yeah, it's a hard one. I just think 9 points is a lot. It's 3 victories, and all we have to do is match teams now, match their results for the rest of the season. We've got to go with the Etihad. We've got Arsenal at home. They're the key games. Everton.
What about Arsenal and City? Where did they play?
What's that, sorry?
Where did Arsenal and City play? Was it at City or at Arsenal? They played each other, haven't they?
They
2-2
played at City
in September.
They played at City.
Yeah, that's right. 2-2.
Yeah, because it was Stones right at the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, so City have still got to go to Arsenal as well.
Yeah.
We've still got to go to Chelsea then. If you think they're our biggest challenge, we've still got to go to Stamford Bridge.
Yeah, we have.
It's all to be played. OB, it's going to be a very, very Merry Christmas for everyone associated with Liverpool Football Club, not least me and you, and I can't wait for it. If anyone's made it this far, don't forget to like and subscribe. Me and James OB will be back for more Liverpool content over the coming weeks. OB, enjoy the rest of your Sunday, being top of the league. And I'll see you on the next one.
Absolutely. I might go and treat myself to a nice glass of red wine, mate, and just sit back and reflect on what has been a beautiful day of football.
Get in.
Cheers,
absolutely
Scott.
Love it. Cheers, bud.
Thanks.
Miller, lovely cushioned header. But Gerrard! Oh, you beauty! What a head, son! What